Good evening, you're watching The Social Network on NDTV 24/7. I'm Kajari Sen, and today we are going to be talking about the social media, Essentially, we've got the Press Council Chairman talking about how regulating social media has to be something which is done ASAP. He's talking about how essentially what we need to look at is putting in the checks and balances for social media. Can that even be done? If it's done, how will it be done? How is it not going to be abused, and who is going to do it? These are the questions that we're going to be putting to our guests today. But before I introduce our guests, a quick look at what you, the viewers, think.
There should be a very straightforward approach to it. As far as our constitutional right to speech and expression is concerned, it comes with certain reasonable restrictions. It enclosed with certain reasonable restrictions, as we have seen with the political leaders. Now, similarly, it goes for the virtual world also as far as the social media is concerned, because sometimes there are crass, crude and blatant jokes that go viral over the net, the morph pictures, and it exceeds the limit. It actually goes up to the extreme character assassination, which shouldn't be done. But the main question here is, how are we going to manage and cater to the billion of the users all over the world?
And joining us to discuss this very knotty issue, Kunal Majumdar, Assistant Editor of thehelka.com. Thanks so much for joining us, Kunal. Also, Pranesh Prakash, the Policy Director for the Center for Internet and Society. And joining us on Skype, Ashwini Kumar, the co-editor and columnist of the Unreal Times. I'm going to actually start off with you, Pranesh, and I'm just going to throw it out to you. The question that the video log asks is really the question we're all asking. Let's talk about the ethics of it in a bit, but can it even practically be done?
No, it can't. But I do have some sympathies with what Justice Kaju is saying, and make two brief points. One, the web is a publishing platform. Unfortunately, it's a publishing platform which in social media, when that comes into play, it's like a conversation you'd have in a coffee house. Now, the same laws, the IPC, etc., do apply to conversations that you have in the coffee house as well. But practically, they aren't enforced in the coffee house, whereas they are enforced when something shows up in print. But the web makes it seem, and social media makes it seem, makes coffee house kinds of discussions, or scrawls on a toilet wall, for instance, makes it seem like it's a published
graffiti debate, really.
It is a graffiti. Some of the more things that offend us are graffiti that if we see on a toilet wall we might laugh at. Okay, but all those kinds of things the law ostensibly applies to. There is no exception in the IPC saying that isn't a crime, but we don't practically apply it, which is the smart thing that the UK government has recently done. It has said, well, this is a crime that stays on our statute books, but we'll have these prosecution guidelines saying, because we have that, that amount of leniency in where we apply it, so we'll be practical about it.
Right.
In these kinds of situations, we won't apply the law stringently. Okay, so that is a via media between saying that here's the law and we need to create exception for social media. I don't think that should be done. But you can say where it is practical to apply it and where it isn't. And there's a second point, but I think I'll come to that later.
Okay. Kunal, Mr. Kajju, when he was making the statement, was doing so in his capacity as the Press Council Chairman. So he was essentially talking about applying the kind of regulations you have on the press to social media. Now, let's be clear. People who are in the press have a responsibility that people who are participating on an everyday basis in social media just don't feel that they do have.
I think Justice Kaju just doesn't understand what social media is. Just with the word media, he thinks all the media are the same. I mean, it's like, just before coming here, I had a Pakistani friend come over and we're talking about whether we can use YouTube for certain project we are doing. And she said, oh, it's banned there. And then, of course, we went in the classic example, classic debate about, if you put up something, what is YouTube or what is Google? I mean, Mr. Arindam, your IIPM argument, he wanted to ban Google. I mean, people don't understand what Google is or social. So I think the basic problem here is the understanding of what exactly social media is. I think Justice Kaju just simply doesn't understand what does social media stand for or what social media is.
Well, one of the parties who would be affected the most are actually humorists. Ashwin, it's very hard in 140 characters to both be funny and be politically correct and explain yourself and go through the tone argument.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat your question?
I said, you know, if we start regulating social media, one of the hardest hit will be humorists, because you guys are going to have to face the tough battle of explaining pretty much everything you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless there's a clear, I mean, it is true that freedom of speech has to come with reasonable restrictions, but the restrictions which are there as of now and the restrictions which are likely to come, I really don't think they're going to be reasonable at all. At least the restrictions which are there as of now, with the kind of current IT laws we have, anybody can be arrested for writing anything. I mean, there's no clear-cut definition. And there are terms like grossly offensive, menacing character. I mean, who defines these terms? They can be interpreted in any manner and they can be misused easily. So yes, I mean, unless restrictions come with a clear-cut and detailed and a proper understanding of what exactly they are, it's just going to be very unconstitutional.